What I'm about to share with you is something most doctors will not say out loud, and honestly, it bothers me that they don't. The advice being given to people with diabetes about fruit is a genuine mess, contradictory, confusing, and it is not your fault if you have no idea what to believe anymore. I'm Dr. Anthony, and in over 2 decades of working with diabetic patients, I have heard the same three stories play out again and again. One patient tells me their nutritionist said fruit is basically sugar and should be treated like candy, avoided almost entirely. The next patient heard from a wellness influencer that fruit is natural sugar, so it doesn't count and you can eat as much as you want. And then there's the third patient who read a headline warning that tropical fruits are dangerous, but with no explanation of which ones, how much, or why. Three completely different answers, all from people claiming authority. No wonder so many of you feel paralyzed when standing in the fruit section of a grocery store. And what does that paralysis cost you? Some of you have stopped eating fruit entirely and are missing out on fiber, vitamins, and compounds your body genuinely needs to fight the long-term complications of diabetes. Others are eating fruit freely with no strategy, then checking your glucose numbers and wondering why they keep climbing. Neither group has been given the real tools to make confident decisions, and that changes today. Before we go any further, I need you to do one thing right now. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I put out science-based practical content like this every single week. Drop your location in the comments below, whether you're in the United States, Nigeria, India, the Philippines, the United Kingdom, or anywhere else in the world. I read every single comment. And if this video helps you, please like it and share it with someone you love who is also managing their blood sugar. That simple act of sharing could genuinely change their health. Today I'm walking you through the 10 best fruits for blood sugar management and the 5 that demand serious caution. Not based on guesswork or fear, but on the science of how each fruit actually behaves inside your body. And I want to be clear about something before we dive in. There is no fruit on this planet that I'm going to tell you can never touch your lips again. Not one. That kind of thinking leads to failure, obsession, and giving up entirely. What actually works is understanding. When you understand how a food behaves in your body, you stop fearing it and start managing it. That is a completely different and far more powerful way to live. Before we get into the list, you need two tools because without them the list is just a list. The first tool is the glycemic index or GI. Think of it as a measure of speed. How fast does the sugar from a food enter your bloodstream? A GI above 70 means sugar hits your blood like a sudden wave. Your glucose spikes sharply and your body goes into reactive mode. A GI below 55 means sugar enters slowly, like a gentle tide. That is what we want. The second tool is the glycemic load, or GL, and this one is critically underused. If GI is speed, GL is total volume. How much sugar actually lands in your bloodstream from a realistic serving? A GL under 10 is safe. A GL above 20 is a serious red flag. The rule I want you to carry for the rest of your life: choose fruits with both low GI and low GL. One without the other is incomplete information. Let's go through the 10 fruits that help control blood sugar, working toward the one I recommend most. Number 10 is plums. With a GI of 39 and a GL of just 5, plums sit comfortably in the safe zone and don't get nearly the credit they deserve. They're naturally sweet without ambushing your glucose levels, rich in vitamin C, and contain compounds that support liver function, which matters greatly for insulin sensitivity. Most people walk right past plums at the market, and I genuinely wish they wouldn't. A healthy liver plays a crucial role in how your body stores and releases glucose throughout the day, and protecting that function through food choices is always a smart strategy for anyone managing diabetes. Number 9 is pears. With a GI of 38 and a GL of 4, excellent numbers. But here's something critical about pears specifically. The fiber is concentrated just beneath the skin. If you peel your pear, you are stripping away meaningful protection. Eat it whole, skin on. That fiber acts as a physical barrier, slowing sugar release into your blood. Number 8 is apples. With a GI of 36 and a GL of 6, apples contain a soluble fiber called pectin, which not only slows sugar absorption but also reduces LDL cholesterol, your bad cholesterol. For someone with diabetes, cardiovascular risk is the number one long-term concern. Eating an apple with its skin is doing two protective jobs at once. Number 7 is passion fruit. With a GI of just 27 and a GL of 5. Those are remarkable numbers, and most people have never considered adding it to their regular routine. Here's the bonus. Passion fruit contains natural compounds that support deep quality sleep. Why does that matter? because poor sleep directly worsens insulin resistance. A single bad night of sleep can raise your fasting glucose the following morning, as though you had eaten poorly all day. Passion fruit is not just a snack, it can be a genuine nighttime strategy for blood sugar management. Number 6 is oranges. And I need you to stop here because what I'm about to say has more practical impact on your daily blood sugar than almost anything else in this video. A whole orange eaten with all its segments intact has a GI of 40 and a GL of 5, safe and genuinely beneficial. But drinking orange juice is not the same thing. They are not the same food. Think about it. If you pour a glass of juice, you might use 2 or 3 oranges to fill it. Would you ever sit down and eat 3 whole oranges at once? Probably not. But in juice form, those 3 oranges go down in under a minute. The fiber that would have slowed everything down is gone, left behind in the discarded pulp. What reaches your bloodstream is a concentrated wave of sugar, pushing the GL above 20, the red zone. The problem isn't what was added to the juice, it's what was removed, the fiber. The fiber is the protection. Always eat your orange, never drink it. Number 5 is kiwi, with a GI of 38 and a GL of 9. Beyond its low glucose impact, kiwi is dense in vitamin C and E together, which studies show can help reduce blood pressure. This matters enormously because approximately 2/3 of people with type 2 diabetes also develop high blood pressure. Kiwi lets you fight both conditions simultaneously through one food. Number 4 is strawberries, with a GI of 41 and a remarkable GL of just 3, among the safest fruits you can eat. The real story of strawberries is in their anthocyanins, the pigment compounds responsible for their deep red color. These are among the most potent cardiovascular protectors available through food, directly supporting the integrity of the blood vessels feeding your heart, kidneys, and eyes, the structures most at risk as diabetes progresses. Eat strawberries frequently, not just occasionally. Number 3 is guava, with a GI of 23 and a GL of 3. That GI of 23 is extraordinarily low. For comparison, white bread sits around 75. A guava and a slice of white bread could not be more different in how they treat your blood sugar, and they often cost similar amounts. I also need to knock down a myth that has scared people away from fruit they should be eating. The claim that fructose in fruit damages the liver, and therefore all fruit is dangerous for diabetics. This is false. Fructose becomes harmful in concentrated form, sodas, corn syrup, processed juices, but the fructose in a whole guava arrives alongside fiber, water, vitamins and polyphenols that completely transform the metabolic picture. Your liver is not treating a guava the same way it treats a can of soda. Do not let fear of a word keep you from a genuinely health-supporting food. Number 2 is peaches, with a GI of 42 and a GL of 4. One of the most forgiving fruits for blood sugar management, sweet enough to satisfy a real craving while remaining safe. And I want to answer a question I receive constantly. Does this list apply to pre-diabetics, type 1 diabetics, or someone newly diagnosed with type 2? The answer is yes to all. These principles serve anyone navigating any form of blood glucose challenge. Number 1, and the fruit I most want to see in my patients' kitchens every week, is fresh cherries. With a GI of 27 and a GL of 6, fresh cherries have numbers as close to perfect as you will find in the entire fruit world. I must emphasize fresh, those bright, artificially colored cherries preserved in syrup used to decorate desserts, have been sitting in concentrated sugar for months and bear no nutritional relationship to fresh cherries. Fresh cherries contain anthocyanins and anti-inflammatory compounds linked to reduce vascular inflammation, which is one of the primary drivers of cardiovascular complications in diabetes over time. If I could add only one fruit to a diabetic patient's regular routine, it would be fresh cherries. Now I need your full attention, because what comes next is where many people make quiet, consistent mistakes without realizing it. These are not obviously dangerous fruits. They appear in wellness plans, smoothie recipes, and hospital cafeterias, and their good reputations are exactly what makes them so easy to underestimate. Number 5 on the caution list is papaya, with a GI of 58 and a GL of 10. Papaya has real digestive benefits through an enzyme called papain. But for someone with diabetes, the benefit and the glucose impact arrive together in the same bite. At a GL of 10, it sits right at the boundary of safe. Keep portions small, eat it alongside protein, and do not make it a daily staple. Number 4 is pineapple, with a GI of 59 and a GL of 14. Yes, it contains bromelain with anti-inflammatory properties, but your pancreas does not know about pineapple's wellness reputation. It only knows about the sugar load arriving in your bloodstream. At a GL of 14, pineapple delivers a substantial glucose challenge. Half a cup maximum, and treat it with real respect. Number 3 is mango. With a GI of 56 and a GL of 14, I need to address a specific mistake I see constantly. Some people believe that adding chia seeds or flax seeds to a mango smoothie makes it safe for blood sugar. That is a trap. The seeds slow the rate at which sugar enters your blood. That is the GI effect. But the glycemic load, the total volume of sugar your pancreas must process, is completely unchanged. Think of it like a debt. Paying in smaller installments does not reduce what you owe. You are still paying every single cent. Superfoods are not permission slips for portion discipline. Number 2 is bananas. With a GI of 62 and a GL of 16. Nutritious in many ways, yes. But compare that GL of 16 to avocado's GL of 2. A banana delivers 8 times the blood sugar load. If you eat bananas, 2 rules apply. Choose ones that are just ripe with some green still in the peel, because brown-spotted bananas have converted most of their starch into fast-acting sugar. And eat half, not the whole thing, always alongside a protein source. Number 1 on the caution list. The fruit that tops it for reasons that go beyond the numbers alone is grapes with a GI of 61 and a GL of 12. The problem isn't just the chemistry. It's what happens every single time someone sits down with a bunch. You plan to eat 5. The small individual size creates a feeling that nothing significant is happening, and before you register it, you've eaten 25 grapes and consumed the sugar equivalent of a candy bar. If you want grapes, count them out before eating a single one. Set your limit at 10 and stop. Never eat directly from the bunch. 2 additional dangers sit above any individual fruit on either list. The first is dried fruit, raisins, dried apricots, dried mango, prunes. Drying removes the water, which is precisely what dilutes sugar concentration in whole fruit. Remove the water and the sugar stays, compressed into a small volume. A small handful of raisins carries the glycemic load of multiple whole grapes, regularly exceeding a GL of 30. For blood sugar management, dried fruit is not fruit, it is concentrated sugar wearing a health halo. The second danger is ripeness. As fruit ripens, starches continuously convert into sugars. A slightly green banana contains resistant starch that absorbs slowly and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. That same banana covered in brown spots has converted most of that starch into rapidly absorbed glucose and fructose. Same fruit, same size, potentially very different blood sugar outcome depending entirely on when you eat it. Choose fruit at peak ripeness or just before. I want to speak to you directly for a moment, not as a doctor reading from a list, but as someone who has sat across from thousands of people navigating exactly what you are navigating. I read the comments every day, and beneath the questions about glycemic indices and safe fruits, I hear something else: exhaustion. I hear people who have received so many contradictory instructions from so many voices that they have stopped trusting their own judgment entirely. People who feel like every food choice is either quietly saving them or slowly destroying them. I see it and I understand it deeply. Here is what I know from experience. Trying to change everything about how you eat in 1 week is the most reliable path to changing nothing permanently. Radical overhauls feel powerful for a few days and rarely survive beyond 2 weeks. Small, specific, consistent changes are what actually move the needle over months and years. So here is what I'm asking you to do tomorrow. Just tomorrow. Not a lifestyle overhaul. Just one thing. Look at your breakfast. Because breakfast sets your glucose trajectory for the entire day. A high-sugar breakfast creates a cascade of cravings and elevated glucose that follows you all the way through to dinner. If you currently start with sweetened cereal, white toast, fruit juice, or a blended smoothie, try this instead. 2 eggs prepared any way you enjoy. Alongside 1 fruit from the top 10 list eaten whole. A peach, a handful of strawberries, a couple of plums. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive. The protein slows everything down and keeps you genuinely satisfied. The fiber from the whole fruit does the same. What most of my patients notice the first time they try this is that the mid-morning crash disappears. The craving that hits an hour after breakfast, the fatigue, the sudden hunger largely goes away when your morning meal stops being a glucose spike in disguise. Start there. 1 meal, 1 change. Give it 5 days and pay close attention to what your body tells you. When that change starts to feel like you're normal, add the next one. Progress built on small, consistent wins is permanent. Perfect plans abandoned in frustration are not. Let me bring it all together. The 10 fruits you can eat with genuine confidence, because they combine low GI with low GL, are plums, pears, apples, passion fruit, whole oranges, kiwi, strawberries, guava, peaches, and fresh cherries. These are genuinely therapeutic. They protect your cardiovascular system, support immune function, and help your body manage insulin more effectively. The five requiring real caution are papaya, pineapple, mango, bananas, and grapes. Not forbidden but demanding. Smaller portions, careful attention to ripeness, never dried or blended, always eaten alongside protein to buffer the glucose response. And the two rules that sit above everything else. Whole fruit always beats juice or smoothie, and riper fruit always carries more sugar than fruit eaten at or just before peak ripeness. Managing diabetes is not a war against food, it is a project of understanding. The more precisely you understand how the foods you love behave inside your body, the more freedom you actually have. Not less, more. If someone in your life is struggling to make sense of the noise around fruit and diabetes, please share this video with them. It might genuinely change how they approach something they have been afraid of. And if you are not yet subscribed, now is the moment. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join this community of people choosing to take their health seriously. One informed decision at a time. I am Dr. Anthony. Take good care of yourself and I will see you in the next one.